guys, I hope you're all doing well and I hope you're all having a good time at home. I know it's been a long time, but it is what it is. Anyway, so today we'll be talking about a topic that will help you all build one of your good traits in yourself, and the topic is self-confidence. Let's get into the video. So let's see what self-confidence means. Self-confidence is an attitude which allows individuals to have positive yet realistic views of themselves and their situations. A self-confident person trusts his or her own abilities and has a general sense of control in their lives and believes that within reason they will be able to do what they wish, plan, and expect. Having self-confidence does not mean that individuals will be able to do anything and everything. Self-confidence people may have expectations that are not realistic as well. However, when some of their expectations are not met, they continue to be positive and accept themselves. So the distinction between people with low and high self-confidence. People with low self-confidence, they do not want to take risks. They are not confident and they tend to depend excessively on the approval of others in order to feel good about themselves. They often put themselves down and tend to discount or ignore compliments paid to them. And by contrast, self-confident people are willing to take risks. The disapproval of others because they generally trust their own abilities. They tend to accept themselves. They don't feel they have to conform in order to be accepted. So, self-confidence is not necessarily a general characteristic of a person. Okay? It usually involves individuals will have some areas of their lives where they feel quite confident and some that they don't. So, like for example, some people may feel confident when it comes to social relationships or personal appearance, and not confident when it comes to academics, athletics, etc. Or it could even be the opposite. So, what is the difference between overconfidence and underconfidence? Too little, let's talk about the underconfidence. Too little confidence can prevent people from taking risks and seizing opportunities. That could be in school or at work or even in their social life. Okay, so and too much confidence can come off as arrogance or people who think that no end of themselves. So overestimating one's abilities might lead to problems such as failing to complete projects on time. Now that could be underconfidence, whereas a realistic appraisal of one's abilities enables people to strike a healthy balance between too much and too little. Okay, so overconfidence is overestimating one's abilities, and underconfidence is too little confidence that can prevent people from taking risks. Confidence isn't walking into a room thinking you are better than everyone, but it's walking in and not having to compare yourself with anyone at all. Let's look into some tips that will help you build your self-confidence. The, the first one is emphasize your strengths. Take risks, self-evaluate, use positive affirmations, dress smart, speak loud, sit in the front row, body language, accept compliments, and give yourself smaller goals in the future. So now let's look into these in a little bit of detail. The first one is emphasize your strengths. So give yourself credit for everything that you try by focusing on what you can do. You can applaud yourself for efforts rather than emphasize the end product. Okay? And starting from a base of what you can do helps you live within the bounds of your limitations. So, focus on what you can do. The second one is to take risks. So, new experiences as opportunities to learn rather than occasional wins or losses. Okay, doing so opens up new possibilities for you and can increase your sense of self-acceptance. Not doing so turns every possibility into an opportunity for failure and inhibits personal growth. So, taking risks helps you to explore new possibilities and explore yourself even more. The third one is self evaluate. Evaluate yourself independently. Doing so allows you to avoid the constant sense of turmoil that comes from relying exclusively on the opinions of others. So, when we focus internally on how you feel or how you behave or work, will help you to do better in your future. And it will also give you a stronger sense of self and will prevent you from giving your personal power away to others. The fourth one is using positive affirmations. Positive statements that are meant to reprogram your mind to seeing yourself in a better light. Okay, you can use statements such as I am worthy, I am a great leader, everybody likes me, and many more. These are just some examples. And there are few ways you can do it as well. You can write down your own statement or your own mantra and repeat it to yourself every morning or even before you go to bed. You can write the positive statements on a piece of paper as well and put it somewhere where you will always be able to see it. For example, maybe you can stick it in your bedroom wall, on your door, or on your fridge. You can also write your positive affirmations on a mirror. Every morning when you get ready, you would have no other option but to look at it. Okay, the next one, dress smart. A smart outfit is an international symbol of being being very confident and smart. If you lack confidence, the easiest way to boost it is by dressing like an authority. If you're perceived like somebody important, you will start feeling like one. Okay, so maybe wearing something like a shirt, a tie, proper trousers, or maybe a skirt and a blouse, or a churidar, or a kurta will make you look very smart and confident. Next one is speaking loud. The way you talk and the way you project your voice is directly linked to your confidence. Have you noticed yourself at an assignment, a recital, or an elocution competition? Yeah. So there is always that one person that is the loudest of them all. They are very confident. Who doesn't care much about what others think? And then there are those who don't talk much, they stay quiet, and even when asked, they speak in such a way that people can't even hear them. So the next time you're in a situation where you need to speak up, project your voice and be loud. You'll see what kind of an impact that has on your confidence. All right. Next one, sit in the front row. Where do you usually sit at events or in a classroom or at any competition? Do you rush to take a seat in the first row or would you rather sit behind? I bet it's the later one. Just like many other people do. The reason for it is that we don't want attention on us. We'd rather hide in the back so we don't risk being pulled on stage or asked a question. But let me ask you something. Who usually sits in the first row? Yes, all the officials at a meeting or the event, right? The ones who are in the first row of a competition or a fashion show. These are the most important people. By sitting in the first row, you're putting yourself among these people. You give others the signal that you are one of the most important people, and so they treat you accordingly. You'll also notice that you will start behaving like one. The eighth tip is body language. Confident people have a different body language. They walk tall, they keep their head up, they look into the eyes of others, they also keep their body open. Whenever we feel bad about ourselves, we feel down or hurt, we tend to close down. And not just emotionally but physically too. We try to become as small as positive so people don't even notice us. We curl up so we limit the surface of exposure. Lack of confidence manifests itself in such body language. A way to build confidence is to adopt body language of somebody who feels confident. So maybe a role model, maybe somebody that you look up to, you could imitate their body language. The ninth one, accept compliments. Imagine somebody tells you you look really nice. What would you respond? Oh, is it like oh, it's an old dress, or oh, I actually feel quite tired today. Do these replies sound familiar to you? We rarely accept a compliment. We rarely say thank you without any buts. But think about it. If somebody takes time to tell you something nice, it's because they think that way. If you did a good job, take ownership for it. Embrace it. Allow yourself to believe in all the good things people tell you. It's the easiest, and of all, it's free to boost your confidence. So the next time somebody gives you a compliment, what you gotta say is, thank you very much. The last tip is to give yourself smaller goals. There is another technique to strengthen belief in our potential to achieve success, and this is by adding small goals. If you may ask me why so, if you've been working on something big, challenging for the last few months, then you're likely to feel pretty unconfident right now. After all, you haven't met your goal. You haven't achieved what you were meant to. So, how to overcome this feeling is to give yourself smaller goals that will hit on the way towards the bigger goal. The goals that you will achieve and will bring yourself belief and confidence back. Confidence is the most attractive quality a person can have, and it's a fact. Lastly, I would like to end with a quote by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He says, confidence and hard work is the best way to kill the disease called failure. It will make you a successful person. I hope you have learned a few tips and would be able to use this in your day to day life on how to be more confident in yourself and believe in yourself more. Be the best version of you. Thank you.